Hey, this is Wakia. Brother against brother. Every man's hand shall be against his brother. Isn't that what we're seeing now? I had a dream last night that I was a little kid. Actually, I kind of think I have lucid dreams all the time, and so I actually appear in the places that I go with the consciousness, not going to sleep, but in being conscious. Excuse me. And I was a little kid, and I was in the classroom, and I was looking out the window, and then I ran out the door, and I was looking for my dog Misty. I had a dog named Misty, which was a blue Merle collie. Looked like a wolf. Everybody went, whoa! Thought that they were going to get attacked by a wolf. Beautiful animal. Went with me everywhere, tracking, hunting, everywhere I went in the desert. When I was thinking about, or when I was there as a little kid, I was thinking about the little kids in Ukraine or anywhere where there's a war-torn environment, but it's happening in Ukraine right now. And I was thinking about what it would have been like if I was a little kid in a war-torn, missiles being lobbed in and killing all around and seeing dead bodies and all that kind of stuff. I was thinking about, wow, hello? This is World War III. This is a civil war, but it's also World War III in Ukraine. And I think the reason that I'm paying so much attention to this one, it's different, people. It's different than other wars in the Middle East. And this is a different thing because it's superpower against superpower. It's not some big superpower like the West just ganging up on a smaller power like Syria or whatever. It's superpower against superpower. And it's horrible. And what's going on is that it's a proxy war on a different land. In other words, two superpowers are actually creating a civil war. Let's just put it this way. It looks like one superpower created the Civil War. But once they create a civil war against a nation, and that nation is mostly Russian, and then you got Russia right next door, well, what are you doing? You're attacking that country. It's World War III. It doesn't matter whether it's on this piece of land or that piece of land or over here or over there. That's why I'm paying attention to this conflict, is because it's World War III if it's Russia and United States, and it's a proxy war. You know what proxy means? We'll do it by somebody else. In other words, we're using pawns. We're the king and queen, but we're using pawns to create a civil war. And that civil war is for what? What is the Civil War for? Has anybody really thought about that, other than resources and money and the obvious? Why press the issue? And you know, I don't want to be a Bible thumper, but let me give you a little bit about my background, okay? And the reason that I know the Bible so well is because I studied it. It was practically forced down my throat, actually, as a kid. But I figured, well, as long as it's going to be, I'm going to get what I want out of it. I never went along with the dogmatic stuff and all the stuff that they were trying to get me to get out of it. I always thought outside the envelope, and so I looked mainly, if you really want to look at the Bible, okay, you want to look at prophecy. And you also want to look at how to live, but you don't want to look at things dogma, like if you go, you know, if you're bad, you're going to go to hell, fire, and burn, and because that was all just BS, as is maybe half the Bible, a third of the Bible is added later. So you gotta be an investigator, and you gotta go in and search for things that are meaningful, just like if you would go into Hopi prophecy, or just like you would go into any prophecy, Nostradamus. You want to go and sift through things, look at the big picture, see what's being said. Now, if you look at some of the prophecy in the Bible, And I don't remember scriptures like this is John 1:3 or 1:1 and this is Deuteronomy, I don't, to me that's just rote memorization that people spew out. So I don't use scripture, I just remember things, okay? And I remember phrases and I might be paraphrasing, but it's still the same meaning. It's still what I got out of it. It's still what it is, okay? Like in Revelations and all these different places. Now, what do we see? What is said? See, let me tell you one thing I was really interested in as a young man, and I did research outside the Bible, okay? And that is one word or two words, or three, I guess, the Great Tribulation. Okay, or tribulation. And for some reason, even as a kid, I was, a wisdom keeper. And I thought about, well, tribulation, that's not a good thing. I want to find out more about that. So I went to history books because Jesus, Yeshua, spoke of the Great Tribulation in his day, being a forerunner of what was going to come later on, okay? Jesus did this. Yeshua did this. He spoke of the Great Tribulation, and there are things in there that are horrific. So I went back and I researched the Great Tribulation of Jerusalem, which he was talking about, to see, well, what can we possibly expect now if it is prophecy? And it was horrific, people, because the Roman army surrounded Jerusalem and pointed these, abutments or stakes or whatever that you see in the old time wars of the logs with the pointed ends crossed. Forget what you call them right now off the top of my head. I can't remember, but they surrounded, just like you would surround a city with barbed wire, only this was big barbed wire. And they starved the people out there. This was the Great Tribulation, and the people went nuts, and they actually went out and threw themselves, impaled themselves on these big stakes surrounding the city, and they were so hungry they were eating their own babies, okay? And I'm researching this as not even in my teens, and I'm like, holy shit, this is bad. And people just flippantly, during the Great Tribulation, these Bible thumpers, and the Great Tribulation will come, and I'm like, are you sure you want it to come? Are you sure you want to experience that? Like just, oh yeah, the Great Tribulation's coming. Well, let me tell you what we're seeing right now. We are in a Great Tribulation, probably a third of the way into it right now. And just because it's not happening in your neighborhood doesn't mean it isn't happening. You're just happen to be fortunate right now. It's happening other ways anyway. It's happening in more insidious ways. But if you go around the world and you look out at some of these things that are happening, like in the Ukraine and Syria, then you go over there and go on vacation for about 2 weeks and live in a war zone, and then come back and tell me what you think. Because it's a nightmare. Now, it's just the nightmare thinking about this stuff. It's just the nightmare that this is the kind of stuff that we have to face every day in the world. When I went back in that dream that I mentioned earlier as a kid, it wasn't anything like what's going on now. Okay? It wasn't anything like that at all. Okay? The world didn't look like it did. Even though it was scary back then, it sure as hell didn't look like it does now. And when I'm saying kid, I'm talking, 16, 15, 10 years old, with my dog, having no other conscious thought than is to go out and track a rattlesnake or coyote or something, or go skinny dipping in some stream out in the what do you think those kids are going through? And it's the dead of winter over there, people. And the people, now look, I sent out a video earlier today. I hope everybody got it. It's on Google. Fozzie, I know you got it. So if you got it, maybe, I don't know if I can find it again. Maybe you could repost it down here. But there's a shot in there, okay, now just to show what I'm saying is true, that it's the USA against Russia, okay. There was a reporter, which they don't even want reporters in there for this obvious reason, that came up on this guy. I think it was a Novorussio or Russia reporter, came up on this guy that was running along with an AK-47, and he had clips all on his chest, probably 7.62 rounds, I don't know, for an AK. And she stuck the microphone in his face because she wanted to interview him. She thought it was either one side or the other. I don't know what side she thought it was. I think this was in Mariupol, maybe. And the guy clearly says in straight out, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri type English, get out of my face, get out of my face. Okay, that's what get out of my face. Oh, really? Get out of your face? You don't want your face to be seen? You don't want to be seen as an American, you know, in the midst of a horrific battle with people dying and kids over. You don't want to be seen as taking part in it, as a mercenary, a merc. You know what a mercenary is? A paid killer. A paid killer. They don't give a shit about what side is going down or what kids are dying or anything. Just give me the money. Just give me the money. Then I'll go put my ass on the line. It'll be fun. I might get to rape some people, and it's a feeling of power for me. And maybe they're just a warrior. They're not used to, maybe they're a vet that came back from here that was trained to kill, and they don't know what to do with themselves. You can't judge these people either. It's not the people. It's these jerks, these horrible, evil, black-hearted, dark people that are perpetuating this, that have been perpetuating it. Wake up here, people. Don't go to sleep on me. The USA and the West, and then on the other side we have Russia and Putin. Now, I know the West started this. They started a coup, and I know that Putin is supportive of Southeast Ukraine. I don't care what he says or what the official line is. But while these two people are supporting these two different sides, the infrastructure and the whole country is being blown into smithereens. And a lot of people are dying and suffering. Why not end this now? Why not end it now? Why drag this up? Because you know what the final culmination, the final ending is going to be anyway. If the rebels go down and NATO heads to Crimea, boom, it's over. Russia's going to move in. They're not going to let that happen, are they? You tell me if you think they're going to let that happen. So why not just get it the hell over with right now? Russia, Putin, go in there, and why? Well, I guess he doesn't want nukes going off. That's the only thing I can think of. He doesn't want nukes going off. I don't blame him. They're at his front door. I mean, let's face it, the West started this. I don't give a damn about what anybody says or what kind of spin they try to put on it or who the good guy and bad guy is. It doesn't matter who they are. They started it. They put in a coup. They did a coup d'etat, and they replaced the government just like they always do. Russia didn't go into Crimea till after they did that. Let's get this straight. Russia didn't go in and annex Crimea or ask Crimea to, they didn't annex. Crimea voted. See, even their propaganda gets to me. They didn't annex. They voted on it. Do you want to go with Russia? Yeah, we want to go with Russia because there's this big coup d'etat and they saw it. So Russia goes, okay, vote on it. And when they voted on it, boom, they were in Russia. Just like we'd vote on something here, only I don't vote. So Russia was just like the wolf was at the door. The wolf is at the door. The wolf, the big bad wolf. You know the story of the three little piggies and the big bad wolf blowing the house down? I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. And that's what's happening here. The West is huffing and puffing and blowing their fetid breath on this land and causing horrific circumstances. And so it created a proxy war. You know that the Southeast is being supported by Russia. It has to be. It's their people. And if it isn't being supported by Russia, it should be. It's their people. It's Russian people. And this is all foretold, okay? Kingdom shall rise against kingdom. I remember that, don't you? Kingdom shall rise against kingdom, okay? And every man's hand will be against his brother. And the love of the greater number, okay, will cool off. In other words, it'll get ice cold. Love. It won't be there anymore. Do we see it around here too much? I don't. So this stuff's true. There's no getting around it. It's true, what they said. Now, how they saw it? Maybe it's because we're like thunder. I see things in the future, and what I see, I don't like. What I see right now, I saw a long time ago. As a kid, I saw what was happening right now. I had nightmares about it. I had visions about it. I had nightmares. I had dreams. I saw what was coming down the road. I didn't want to grow up. But here I am, grown up, and here I am in this hellacious, nightmarish scenario that we're all witnessing here. Hopi prophecy talks about this. Nostradamus talks about this. Other, the Hindu talk about it. It's all foretold, people, by more than one source. And the Bible is not to be ruled out just because it's the Bible. Yes, if you look into it, parts of it were taken out and it was manipulated, but some truth got through. Some truth got through from Yeshua's words because he made sure that it would, by speaking in parables and by speaking, in things that they didn't understand even back then. What do you mean, Master? Well, you'll find out someday. He was a master, just like you would have a guru as a master or a Buddha as a master, or that's what Yeshua was. He wasn't God's son. We're all God's sons and daughters, all of us. He just taught us how to recognize it. He taught us how to ascend and descend. That's all a metaphor. Yes, there was a crucifixion, but it's metaphorical too. That could have been the biggest metaphor and knowingly done, okay? Knowingly done. For a reason, just for a metaphor, so people will wake up. What's an enlightened master do? He does things for metaphorical reasons. Because what does he care? He can ascend and descend at will. Just like yogis can kick their frame at will or die and come back to life, they can do that. And if you don't think they can, well, I'm here to tell you they can. And I won't tell you how I know. You'll just have to trust me on that. But getting back to this what's going on now, we are in the Great Tribulation. World War III is happening right now. And some people go, well, the whole world has to be at war, don't it? Well, the whole world is at war, isn't it? Name me where there's no war. Name me, okay, so war doesn't just have to be physical war. We've gone way beyond that now, okay? We've gone way, way beyond just physical war. Warfare is generated and created in all areas. Weather warfare with HAARP, psychological warfare on a nation's own people and other nations' people, psychological, psyops, mind control. That's maybe one of the worst kind of wars there is, because you don't even know what's happening to you. At least the people in Ukraine know what's happening to them. But the dumb shits over here don't know. And most of the world doesn't know what's happening to them. They're just, huh? And then they're going to be like that old saying, they're going to be like a deer that gets caught in the headlights. A deer's running across the road and boom, around the corner comes a Mack truck with its headlights blaring, and the deer just freezes. Huh? That's what's going to happen, people. That's what the Great Tribulation's all about, is when people wake up and realize they're well into it. Oh, I thought that was coming down the road. No, it's here now. It's here right now. As we speak, you are in the Great Tribulation. Go over to Africa. Look, hang out with the starving kids over there. Go over to Ukraine. Go over to Syria. Go over to any other country. Wait till it hits here. People are going to be soiling their pants, okay? That's what's going to be happening. They're going to be going, oh my God, where's my iPod? Oh my God, where's my iPod? God being the iPod. This is a fire and brimstone type video, because I'm not pulling that dream I had last night. When I went back to my childhood and I flashed back here, it was like, oh my God, I'm here, and I don't want to be. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to witness this. This is just the tip of the iceberg, people. Wait till there's no more food on the shelves. Wait till there's no more water running, Wait till there's no place to go to the bathroom. Wait till there's no place to plug in your iPod. Maybe you can plug it in your ear so you can open it up so you can hear what I'm saying. And yeah, we send things back and forth here to keep aware, but it's almost like, I almost feel bad about doing that. It's almost like, man, here we're sending stuff back and forth. How can we help these people? Prayer and ritual, okay? Grandfather, grandmother, Sapa, Luta, Gio, Gaga, Ska, help these people. Give me the power to increase my spiritual power so that I can send prayer to them and good energy to them. And maybe we should send some energy to the ones that are doing it too. You can determine what kind of energy you want to send them. See, none of these people are really our enemies. Putin, mercenaries, Porky Pig Poroshenko, none of these people are our enemies. And I'll tell you why, because they were kids once too, and they just got caught up in the belief system and maelstrom of what we should do in society if we're proper. Well, we go to war for God, and we pursue money, and we pursue riches, and we pursue the American dream. Not. That's all an illusion, people. Any rich person I ever saw was the most miserable person on earth. And I knew a few. I was even married to one. And that made me rich too, at one time. I wasn't real happy because the person I was with was miserably unhappy. I don't care how much money she had, she wanted more. Or was afraid of losing what she had. Just a little bit of personal info there, spewed out. Hell, I've wined and dined and rode around in Cadillacs and been in the finest restaurants and hotels and traveled, and I've done everything. And I've also done just the opposite, shopped at 99-cent stores and was barely scraping by, like right now. That gives you a real clarified view, the clarified butter view of how ridiculous it all is. And the disparity, and how it means nothing, really. Means nothing. All it does is allow you to gather more toys, okay? Or you can buy people too. You can buy people off. Is that how you want to get friends, buying them off? So this is what's happening, people, in the world today, okay? The love of the greater number will cool off. Boy, that rang in my head today. Well, isn't it? Do you see love anywhere? I don't see it. Every man's hand shall be against his brother. I could go on and on and on with prophecy, okay, from all kinds of different sources. The point I'm trying to make here is it's happening right now. Right now, not later on down the road. We're in it, baby. I don't like what I'm seeing, and I don't know if I want to see it. You know, it's like, don't want to turn my back on my brothers and sisters, but it's almost like when you see an incoming barrage of weapons coming in and there's a bunker there, what do? Stand out there because you want to look at it come in? Or do you head for the bunker and cover your ass? That's the kind of situation we're in right now, metaphorically. It's like, man, I don't want to see this, but then on the other hand, I don't want to turn my back on it. So that's the yin and yang, okay, the yin and yang. And that golden spiral number, whatever they was talking about in that video, I've been watching that video. I want to comment on that a little bit because I'm about 2/3 of the way through. But that golden spiral number and all that stuff, that's all within too. You may think it's just out here, but Jung and the great psychiatrists and all these great thinkers know it's within. Let me just comment a little bit about that video. It's like, yeah, it's really interesting, and there's some really good stuff in it, and I recommend watching it. But it does get to a part of the Masonic order where, where they're talking about prime numbers and quadruple primes and putting this and that together, and this guy in Florida discovered the law of magnetism and how they could lift stones and do this and that. And I'm not done with it yet, but the first thing that comes to my mind is, boy, this is really boring, the number thing, the Masonic thing. And I know firsthand about Masonic people. Okay, I knew people that were high up 32nd degree Masons. Okay. And there's ritual and all kinds of dark stuff involved with that. So, I mean, anytime you watch that, you have to be careful that there's not some kind of hidden message there or something, or just kind of look at it like, what's going on? But the thing with the prime numbers and the numbers in the segment in that video, I just wanted to comment, is something you got to take with a grain of salt. Number one, you got to look at the big picture. I'll look at the big picture of the whole video when it's done. And I think that video should be watched because there's a lot of good stuff in it. But the thing is like, what's the agenda with it? What's the big picture that I always talk about, the Hawk's view? What's the agenda? To get you to buy into a certain belief system? I'll see at the end, won't I? Who is it by? I haven't even looked at that. What channel did it come from? There's a lot of truth out there that could be mixed in with other things. That's what I'm saying. That could be an agenda. But we're not, the Campfire Council isn't somebody that's going to go, oh, we're not going to look at that. We're going to look at it. We're going to talk about it. I encourage everybody, this might be a good foil. I encourage everybody to watch that and then give their comments on what they thought about this part or that part, or because there's a kind of a dark part in there that I just went through with the Masonic order and the numbers and the how to lift stuff with magnetism, and I'm sure it all fits into what the final deal is. But first thing that came to my mind is, if this guy found the key to lifting things with magnetism and being able to build things like they can't even build today with just thought or numbers or something, why didn't he sell it and make $1 million? Or even the guy that did this video that's figured it out, why isn't he going to sell that idea and make $1 million? If he figured out the formula, did he? I don't know. I haven't got to the end yet. But see, that's the kind of stuff I think about. I look at the big picture. I never take anything at face value. So anytime videos are posted on here, on the Campfire Council thing, that doesn't mean you buy into everything that video is about. That means you just look at it, take the good out of what you want, just like you take the good out of my videos, and if you don't like something I say, boom. He doesn't know what he's talking about on that number, but I'll take, yeah, he sounds good here. So you know what I'm saying? Be careful. Everybody involved. Just a heads up on that. Just like, yeah, it's okay. It's like when you read a book, man, you'll read a book and go, that's a good point, but that's other points are relevant, or I don't know what's going on with that. So I'll just, you have to be discerning. Discerning is, and what's the other word? Moderate. So I wanted to comment on that just offhand because I found it really interesting, although that part was like, I was going to sleep on the prime number part and all that stuff. It's all in your head anyway. I suppose they're getting to this prime circular golden number thing, which is probably true, that the coil you see in the seashells and all of life and all that stuff, that all makes sense to me. The energy. But you can do it in much simpler terms. And I've just said it's energy. And it's formulations of energy, and it's mathematical. Sure, you can extrapolate, you can use I'll get this out, extrapolation, okay? Extrapolate out far beyond and look at the big picture. Man, I didn't think I'd have that much trouble with that word, and I use it so much when I was going through my pilot training too. You have to extrapolate. the number out too, blah, blah, blah. And see there, no, I use math there. I wasn't really a big math whiz. But this prime number thing was like, huh? Magnetic and fields and all that stuff. I mean, if you're a genius, if you're somebody that's a mathematical genius, I could, you know, actually I could have slowed down that video and looked at it and figured it out. I could have. Didn't want to. Just, I'll look at the big picture, see what it, because what good is it going to do me to figure out all those numbers? Am I going to like levitate rocks around my, my backyard? I don't have a backyard, but let's get back to the war thing. We are in World War III. That's my perception. Now, some of you that were born around the same time, 46, or shortly thereafter, you tell me if you think that the world has changed and if, because see, that's another thing too, is like, you always got these people out there that go, oh, this has happened before and this is just history repeating itself and we're in a cycle here, man, and it's just gonna, well, we could be, I don't know, I'm not gonna argue with them, but in my lifetime, I've never seen any cycles like this, motorcycles. I don't buy into that. Oh, this is just, those people are deniers. They're in denial. Really? This happened before? Did you live like 6 lifetimes and remember them all? Or do you believe everything you read in history books? Or is all the history books correct? Or is everything they say in a history correct? No. Would they hide certain things so that you wouldn't know or put certain things in? Yes. So you can't go on, oh, this all happened before, man. This ain't nothing new. That's BS. I don't buy that. There's a lot of new stuff happening, technology, and now this video, the good thing I like about it, I'll jump back and forth there, is that there's formulas and there's things that technology has taken huge advancements, okay? And they know certain things we don't with formula and stuff, yes. That's a definite. So that's what I'm saying. It's ramped up to this thing where they know these formulas and they've perfected them, but they're using them for wrong purposes. And I've said this before, technology, you can simplify it. You don't have to get into a bunch of numbers. They're using technology for wrong purposes. It's plain and simple. That's all you need to know. Isn't it? Because are you going to go out and learn that technology and turn everything around with your own technology? Tesla already tried that, and they killed him and stole everything that he had. And that's what they're using against us today. I want to get more feedback in the group about what's going on with this Ukraine thing, and because I see this not as just another civil war, not as just another conflict. Maybe I'm overblowing it, maybe I'm not, but when I see 2 superpowers, that's the key. It'd be like us and, the USA and China. It'd be like if we went into something right next door, Hong Kong or wherever, and took it over and had a coup, or went into one of their islands, and that'll be next. That'll be next. It might not be next. I mean, there might be. It's so dicey right now that overnight you could wake up the next morning and find out that Russia and America are just like at each other's throats. NATO, they call it. NATO. Gladio B. You should do research on Gladio B, which is a covert operation that's been going on since World War II. When they turned the Gladio B was to help people with airlifts, and they turned it right around and turned it into a dark organization that foments wars around the world for hegemony. Hey, I got that one out. I was never a $20 word man. I try, I do the best I can, or $100 word, like extrapolate. See, I said it okay that time. That's why it's so important as we as people, with this Campfire Council thing, we as people talk these things out so as to keep each other on the right red road. The Lakota call it the red road. In other words, not straying, looking at the big picture. And the big picture is that there's war everywhere right now. There isn't a place, Middle East, Palestine, Iran, Iraq, Israel, Somalia. Where is there not war? This is a bigger world war than we've ever had. It was kind of simplified in World War II. You saw that, the different countries, 3 of them basically, Germany, America, Russia. Then it involved everybody else. First it was just England and what? Germany? Poland maybe, and then incursions into, but isn't that the same thing that's happening right now? But it's already happened. It's like 2/3 of the world has been stepped on by Big Brother USA and their agenda. And they're not going to be happy till everybody's friggin' destroyed. But it ain't going to happen. Because what you sow, you shall reap. That's just it's karma. It's the same thing as karma. What you sow, you shall reap. And if you sow seeds of destruction, and you're going to be destroyed, baby. I got news. I'm putting these people on notice from a spiritual level. Okay? You don't listen to your God. You don't listen to your master Yeshua. You don't listen to any of those people when they talk about the Good Samaritan and not killing, and you turn not killing into not murdering. And what do you think war is? It's murder, rape, pillage. Don't be stupid. They need to join this community because we understand what's going on, don't we? Don't we understand? If you don't understand what's going on, you have no business being in this community. And we want support. We want support here, moral and in every other way. And perpetuation, and let's get this thing going. We might, I mean, the way I feel about it, the way the storm is approaching, or not approaching, see, it's here. We're just in the eye of it. It's already here. So what are we going to do? Sit around and go, what are we going to do? I think we should be making plans here, all of us, if you want to do this, on getting a physical piece of land somewhere and going there so that we can all work together hand in hand, because this ain't going to be around much longer. I don't care where you are, whether you're on the East Coast or West Coast or England or Canada or Mexico or wherever you are. It's not going to be here. It's only going to be little communities of ranches and stuff, that, if there's anything at all. I woke up yesterday morning and this morning feeling like, when I said you're either aware or you're not aware, and you just feel things like, oh, this just doesn't feel. I feel what's going on over there. It's a civil war that's just, it's a microcosm of the macrocosm. It's like the macrocosm is all happening. It's all there. It's all fluid. It's all horrific. But you're just seeing this little part of it, okay, that's being manifested maybe as a warning, as a sign, because the ones that see it look at it as a sign, don't we? I'm going to leave it there. I wasn't even going to do a video today. It's raining here. I want to look out the window and enjoy the rain and the clouds, because that's rare in California. Okay. Yeah, it's still raining. That's why I change colors too, because clouds go by. Anyway, I love all you people, I really do. Give me some feedback on that one part of the video as we go along, or any of the videos, or my video, or whatever. Let's just talk, people. I noticed Natalie introduced herself and Fozzie were talking. That's good. That's what I want to see. Those are the two moderators. I didn't tell them to do that either. Well, I guess I told people in general they should be talking. Yeah, I guess I did that a while ago. I'll just do it right here. My name is Thunder and Wakia, born in East Orange, New Jersey, but was taken to Arizona at 6 months old. My people are the Métis people from the East Coast, tribal, Ojibwe, and maybe a little Iroquois and some French and English. And a breed, basically they'd call me, but grew up in Arizona, was raised around all the tribes there, learned everything I could from them. I'm 68, and I feel like I'm, I don't know what I feel like. Sometimes I feel 23, and sometimes I feel 103. What can I say? What else about me? I've been a musician, a jazz musician, played with some of the best people, played with some of Santana's people, a lot of heavy jazz artists, salsa, I played everything, country and western, everything. I'm a pilot, flight instructor, martial artist. They call it a Renaissance man, don't they? Tried to cram as much as I could learn in this life. A shaman, shamanistic stuff, writer, award-winning author. Geez, I done a lot of things, haven't I? What am I leaving out here? Did I say pilot? Yeah, I said pilot. I'm proud of that. That's left brain stuff. The rest is right brain, which is really cool, right brain. Have a feeling I left something out. I probably left a million things out. Certified meteorologist. That's a bitch of a test. What else? Certified holistic oriental acupressure technician. Okay. Yeah, I could sit here all day. Meditator, practicer of yoga, tai chi. That all goes with the martial arts. Okay, that's me. Now I don't have to write it down. Have any questions? Student of philosophy and promoter of indigenous peoples' causes and what else? Ritual and teachings. There you go. Teacher. How about just teacher? All right, so that's it for today. Think about some of the things I said here. I think it's important. We're already in it, people. One other thing I was thinking about, what if the communications go down? I think that we should, some of us that can afford it, I was into this as a kid. I'm going to leave you with this thought, ham radio. I think that some of us around should get into that, because that might be the only communication that's left. Anyway, I'm out of here. Adios, walk the red road. Talk to you later. It's Thunder. Over and out.